Yes.
Going live.
Alrighty then. Yes.
And we are back. Hi guys, how's it going? Live again.
Hi, Stuart.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
You missed me for a. I was a Jedi yesterday. You missed me
saw
in
that.
my drunken. Did you watch any of my boozy
Not
time?
yet. No.
There's a few minutes of good stuff in there.
That's good.
I certainly got a little bit boozy by the end, which is kind of funny. Not too boozy, just the right amount of boozy. And that was that was fun.
Very, very good.
I'll start showing straight away. Gets right into the action, Stuart.
Okay, you do that. All right, guys, hit that like button if you're just joining us. If you haven't hit it yet, please give it a like. Dan's excited that we're starting an hour early. We're not. It's still 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. You guys have set your clocks back already, and we'll be setting ours back next week. So things will be back on track next week. But as of right now, this is the time it is. Probably for Friday's review as well. So keep that in mind. But yes, please consider joining the channel, helping us on a monthly basis, or heading on over to Patreon/Trekyards. It's another way to help us on a monthly basis as well. Or simply, check out the links down below for any Trekyards swag or any cool stuff. You guys know what to do to help us out, whether it's sharing the video or just, hitting that like button. Really important. And please super chat during the live. We want to hear your thoughts on this episode. We're back to Prodigy, which is a nice thing to say. Prodigy is such a beautiful looking show and so well done. Dan says, I'm not sure Prodigy makes things look correct or have future comm badges and the ship looks a bit Kelvin timeline. Yeah, but there are answers for all those things from behind the scenes, which you guys don't know yet. So it looks exactly like it should. Everything that looks like it should looks like it should. So there you go. I know it's 8 o'clock UK time. Dan, that's because you're an hour behind. You fell an hour back. We don't do that till next week. So right now it's still 4 Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, we're an hour early for so many people. Hello, hour early people. Crazy, eh?
Hey, yeah.
And it used to be a great thing, and then we moved everything earlier. So now it's like mega early, and you can't really get much earlier. So it's like it's great, and it's like oh. But for you, Stuart, nothing has changed. You're the same old you, but I'm not the same old me. Things have changed in my world, Stuart. I can now tell you that
you're an hour younger than me. What? Wait a minute.
Yes.
You're an hour younger than you used to be.
Yes. Nothing's changed, but everything's changed.
Exactly.
Dear me.
So, Prodigy, season 1.
And sorry about the slight delay, guys. I'm sure you said that, but many things in between. We gave you full lower decks treatment, and you guys loved it, and we appreciate you for that. You were busy yesterday. Did you rewatch this in preparation for this just now? It has been a couple of days.
I watched it yesterday, so does that count?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I just mean apart from the day. Yeah, it's back, and yes, I got a Pro Star uniform like 9 months ago.
That's awesome.
I haven't got to use it because
the
show stopped. Like literally, we got it, and I wasn't sure I want to use it for the final. No, it was after that. No, because this was only the last like 2, wasn't it? So this thing, like, I'm not gonna wear it unless the show's on. So yeah, I finally get to wear it. Yes, so actually,
and you got a comm badge too on the.
Yes, that to me, and it has the stripes. Yeah,
I like that uniform. I really do.
I like some of it. I mean, you know me. I wish these were like 3 times as thick. If they were, or if just the red was, if the shoulder blade was red. But yeah. At least it's very much their own thing. So I give them credit for that. Yeah. Nice to wear it.
Pretty great. I don't have one, so.
And it was quite surreal to actually watch them in the episode and just put this on, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I haven't worn it in months.
I've just got my Captain Starfleet on. So, but anyway, welcome back, everybody. And yeah, it's a little bit late because this was out on Thursday, but we had Prodigy and we had a bunch of cool stuff on the weekend. We had the interview with Aaron Waldkey, which you guys should check out if you haven't.
Did you finally watch it?
No, not yet. I watched like maybe 5 minutes of it, and then something happened. I got called away, and I completely forgot to go back to it.
Oh my!
Right, but I was there. I do remember that.
You were there, Stuart. I can confirm that was you in the interview. I didn't just AI you. Yeah. But Stuart, what did you think of Prodigy Season 1, Episode 11? Even though it's been like 13 months since the show premiered.
I give them a clap because this was awesome. Got to see more Starfleet officer, a lieutenant junior grade, and we also saw a communications relay station. So we got to see some Federation tech, some Federation uniform. Like, it was awesome. That being said, there are a few plot issues as far as I'm concerned with the station destroying itself. Again, very cool to see. But as you kind of pointed out in our other review, viruses are designed to spread, not to kill the host immediately, because you want this to spread. Since it was a communications relay, I really expected it to start broadcasting, just broadband, just blast stuff out. So every Starfleet vessel that picked it up would get infected. But that wasn't the case. So a little bit of a problem there, but there could be a specific reason for that. We just don't know yet. Also, one escape pod for this whole goddamn relay station, which is designed to host people because people will be stopping by. Even said, take advantage of our facilities. So that was a small little issue, and it's just in one area of the station. You think they'd have escape pods in multiple areas in case there's a hull breach or something happens and you can't get to the escape pod. You need backups. So that bugged me a little bit. But other than that, beautiful show. Glad we're back, and can't wait to see more of the show. There were a few other things that bothered me, actually, now that I think about it. Dal blasting his phaser right at Gwen instead of, why shoot at the force field? You can shoot at the actual med table. And them trying to calculate the trajectory. I'm like, what? Is the protostar infected? Is it like stuck in an orbital thing? No. She can still move the ship. She can catch you guys as needed. Just jump. She'll get you. It's fine. So yeah, a few little weird things, but other than that, I'm really happy to be back to Prodigy, and looking forward to where this goes, because it's just getting more and more exciting. We know that, we know what Murph is now. He's a melanoid slime worm, and Dal is identified by Starfleet, but it's good or bad. Contact Starfleet command right away. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. So I'm excited. Yes, I very much liked it. In answer to your question.
And I just tweeted at all the good old Prodigy production people of this. Let's see who responds, if anyone responds in this live. On Twitter. Yeah.
How about you? What's your return to Prodigy?
Yeah, I mean, we had a really good review edited video. We really had that was one of our better ones, I think, for a while. Like, we had a thought at the start, really talked it through, as we always say, like, as we would do at a bar. Like, that's exactly how we approached it. And by then we had very different thoughts. And things came out, certainly. Rewatching it, unlike Lower Decks, it's... I mean, they're different beasts, right? The first time, as you know, as we talked about, it was very fresh feeling. Coming in, it was different, yet Star Trek. It was energetic, but not over the top. The characters were fun, yet not too silly. The tech was good, but advanced, but not too advanced. It was a really nice vibe. And then, as we both said in the other review, it's pretty much phenomenal until the last, 6 minutes. And then it starts to kind of have problems seep in. And then the end bit's like, okay. So it leaves a not so good taste in your mouth by the end. That's us saying that as like a review show. Most people aren't going to care or notice, but it's just like, okay. But we're here
for week to week, too. It's probably one of those things. Once you binge it, the next one's going to be like...
We're here to simply review it, deep dive, Trek lore it. So that's a different criterion we're going for here.
Yeah.
And that was after we both, if you got to remember, guys, last week we did Lower Decks. We both watched it. I did like an hour and a half of prep. Stuart came in. We reviewed it and did videos for about an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20. We both went away, watched Prodigy, and came in having both, within 5 minutes of finishing it, reviewed it. So that was like the most fresh we ever do, is when they do a double. So we were both like, oh, the ending. Now it doesn't feel as major because we've just lived a week in between, almost. But I still think, yeah, the first half is really, 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 really good. and not even in a way as like, wow, that's a brilliant Trek. Just it flows so well, and it's written lovely, and it plays like this little gentle opera of fun, right? And the Denobian was a great ad. It has a lot of fun. I'm assuming we'll see him again, but if we don't, he one-hit wondered great. You know, if he's literally the furthest communications relay in a non-warp capable escape pod. I mean, this guy, assuming the relay station sat at a distress call, which is a big assumption it was, you know, being hacked. Escape pod can't do galactic-wide whatever, so he could very well be in that escape pod till they find him again.
Which I think Janeway's going to find him, and it's going to be like, these kids showed up and destroyed my station.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because he's too far to be just found.
Well, the escape pod would be emitting a distress signal. So.
Yeah, but at the range though, I mean,
I know.
Someone will probably pick it up, but not Starfleet, unless it happens to be someone nearby, and clearly implied that they never sees people, and as such, someone randomly being there. But it's good. It's good. I kind of wish the corridors were more Star Trek classic than Prodigy, because they just look like a protostar corridor, whereas that's meant to be super advanced future megatech, as in like cutting edge. This is meant to be basic. Like I would have even buy they were like raw TNG corridors, because this is an old station. Because this has to be a newish station to look like this, which kind of works, but then
it's the furthest out, so it's like one of the newest ones because they build as they go out.
But if you, that's possibly
the only thing is. The thing is, I wish the L-Cars would have looked like TNG style L-Cars instead of like the Protostars L-Cars, personally. Yeah. But
yeah, this is when their own art language is going to influence other things. But it's like, yes, but, and I do buy that it's new, but the vibe he's giving is that he hasn't been seen for months, if not years, and then like there's no ships coming nearby, and we don't know what part of the furthest edge, because there's not always more further, right? There is okay, that's enough, won't go in that one direction for 5 years. So, like, I would have liked if that would have been a very much like a clearly, like, late Voyager era, etc. The fact it looked like a Protostar was like, well, it looked consistent, so I give them credit. The art design was very consistent, but it's like, well, I guess it's a brand new cutting edge station for some reason with a guy that hasn't seen people in 5 years. But that's just...
we don't know how long. No, I assume a couple of months.
I'm exaggerating,
5 to 8 months, yeah.
Yeah. But one thing that really points out, the particle effects on the explosions were fantastic. Really, really, really good. And it's not always something to focus on, but when they do it well... Oh, and the water simulation, when the one shot where the creatures come out at the end, the water was just beautiful. The way that beautiful. Little things.
Yeah, there's lots to praise and lots of things to kind of go, some of those moments could be cleared up later, but
I mean, a lot of it felt like they ran out of time. Like the escape pod conundrum, certain things could have done 2 lines of dialogue, but
we're cut off from the rest of the station. We can't get to the other escape pods.
Boom. Or the easiest one is, well, you followed that guy, assuming he'd lead you to the good escape pod, but we can't get to the station. It's already exploding. Like, there's no time to go anywhere else. Like, that's it. That's all you need to say. Versus
that was another escape pod thing. Another odd thing. One escape pod, but multiple EV suits. I know there's only one person station.
That makes sense, because you have, because you might spacewalks more likely than escape pods.
Yeah, but if you got like 5 to 10 suits, you think you'd have enough escape pods for 5 to 10 people.
Yeah, but in that
Just
area.
saying.
Yeah. I mean, the logic must be there's other ones in other areas, just that's the only one.
I just wish I was set.
Yes. Yeah. There's a few things like that. But yeah, good episode. And the Divine, I think, then still, I wish they just cut that scene. Or had it in the middle. Because it normally, like most times I remember their end sting is very good. That I think undermines the episode a bit. Especially as that's our introduction to the new characters who are there. Like give us a bit more oomph for them if you're going to use them. Yeah. Especially if you played the game, Stuart, and the game says that... but it's not canon.
I have played the game.
Right.
Actually, I was playing some today to unlock some of those other collectibles, but... it actually answers something about the game, because the game, Gwen was pretty sure that she did, like, her father was dead. Now, I know that the game happens between the 9th and 10th episode, or no, the
10th and
19th and 20th episode of this season. So the last two
10th
of this.
11th.
No, it happens between the Supernova episodes at the end of the season.
Oh.
That's why the game's called Supernova.
Huh.
Yeah.
So they're going to think he's dead in 10 episodes, what you're saying?
I guess. But this one was interesting because Gwen didn't know what they did to her dad. So she just didn't want to know, or was afraid to ask. And all Zero said was, just he can't hurt you anymore. Just know that. So
I would feel like that would be more dodgy than anything. Let's answer a very specific question. Somebody that I was with for a decade or two with it's best you don't know. What, did you eat him? What do you mean? Just tell me you put him in prison. What do you mean? What a horrible non-statement. Don't be that creepy. You're the one that made his brain go to milk. Tell me what you did to... Oh, we left him behind. That's the answer. I know.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into this.
All right. So we saw...
SPS Guru 2000 throws in 20 euros.
Thank you.
Like the episode, sort of. Lots of setup for the future, yes.
Yep.
But it doesn't stand on its own. It's not an episode you can say this episode was about this theme or topic. Also, Chakotay was more of a sleeping pill than Voyager 6.5 out of 10. Well, I disagree with some of that. This show is always... It has a few episodes that don't necessarily stand on their own because it is serialized and pretty hard cut episodes at the end. But as a binge watch, it's much more enjoyable. So this is the communications relay episode. That's all you need to know.
I mean, I understand this logic there, but the same would be the true for DS9 season 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Most episodes don't stand on their own at all, but most of them you can say that's the one with this subplot. They're not main plot because it's such a small element. This, I think, is very, this is, like I say, the communication. This is the, oh no, it's a weapon episode. I think it's actually very, contained thematically what happens. It's actually almost too much a bottle show in that this happens. This one line of, but they draw it out by having the fun scenes. But in the grander scheme, you learn all about the aliens, you learn about what they've done. You actually get a lot of information. So I know what you mean, but I think it's pretty well constructed for that. The ending, like I said, we think lets it down.
Yeah,
that's different, but no, I wouldn't necessarily agree. I mean, none of these are going to be truly standalone by their very nature. They're so developmental. You can't really have that in this sort of show. Even like the one where they're next to the sun, that power. Well, why are they there? Well, because the last episode they escaped. Without the last episode, they're just in space for no reason. So it's an evolving story,
And as for Chakotay, I really enjoyed that scene in this one. So I don't think he was boring.
We'll get there when we get there, Stuart.
Yeah.
But we start off with Alien George and Gracie.
Yes, we do.
And I love that to bits. Whoever thought that in the writer's room, chef's kiss, because that was a beautiful little... How much more symbolic to we're doing good than saving alien space whales. Beautiful. And not over the top. Mm-hmm. They don't go full George and Gracie with it, except they do, but they integrate it so well with the plot that you don't necessarily notice. Because the girl's pregnant. And the whales are about to attack her, but it doesn't quite feel like George and Gracie, so good job then.
Yep. And they're trying to do it without breaking the Prime Directive.
So they
got this cool little vehicle. This
jellyfish. Yep, the not jellyfish.
Which is numbered when it comes into the bay. You can see the number. I think it's number 12. Because each of the ships they replicate has a number.
Yeah.
So.
And I've mixed feelings about this, but not particularly either way. Just okay, well. Yep.
Yeah.
It works a lot better in this format, I'll say, as if it's designed to go through the ocean versus spinning in space.
Yes.
Like the idiot who designed it, as in based on the directions they were given. But it looks nice enough.
Yeah, it's craft number 7 when it comes out of the whale. But yeah, for Zero to swoop in and beam it up into the bay with no water, I mean, it can still survive, but it was a cool scene. It's a great way to start this episode, actually. So Can't complain really about this.
And David has a comment if you want to read David's comment.
Hello guys, how you doing? Everything's great. I like the video and your insight on how Star Trek on and your insight on Star Trek Lower Decks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. Or David. I should call you David. I love how Janeway kind of gives them shit too for almost breaking the Prime Directive, but
oh, and it took 20 minutes for the lead writers, the creators brothers of Star Trek Prodigy just retweeted my post. So it took them 12 minutes to notice and repost. So we've just been officially retweeted that we're doing this review by Trekyards by the guys that invented Prodigy.
Perfect.
Hi guys.
We should see our numbers skyrocket. Oh wait, they're not.
Not how
35. 35 of you here. 24 likes. Hit that like button, guys.
Yes. But I was left wondering the second time around in this scene though that their plan is to follow it. It makes a lot of sense when they beam it. They can beam it because they've been eaten by it, but they play the eaten by it as a oh no, you're eaten by it. But there's no other plan. So I'm wondering what was the actual plan. Because get eaten by it, that was a great plan. It worked beautifully well. I don't get what their plan was then.
Well, I don't know. I don't either. But the only reason they got eaten was because Gwen kind of spaced out and had a flashback to her dad. So yeah, it's a little weird, but
yeah, it's I don't even know if the writers knew what their plan was because the plan was to get eaten because the writers said so. Yeah. But it's so well paced that you move past it.
SVS Guru 2000 throws in another 20 euros. Thank you. They made the same mistake with the whale in Star Trek Discovery, transported an aquatic creature into air environment. That was a space whale.
That was a space whale.
Instead of water tank, where it would be crushed under its own weight, like intentionally beaching a whale. It takes a while for it to be crushed under its own weight, first of all. Whales they do transport whales like killer whales and like these straps that they put it in and they can move it around.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, I mean, you just got to make sure it doesn't dry out and it's not there too long. I think it's fine.
And let's be honest, alien whale, alien planet, and not just that, they could probably easily have said the environmental controls of the
gravity plating
to be 30% lower, so a bit easier, and like increase the humidity by like 80% so it feels a bit more liquidy, just to kind of help it not die.
Yeah.
I mean, easy stuff like that, and it's only on there for what, a minute and a half?
Yeah, not very long.
Yeah, I mean, it was I hope that was the plan because it was a really good plan.
Yeah.
Although the aliens still don't know what happened because the thing just disappeared. And I love the visuals of it inside the creature as well. It was pretty great, and I'm sure they said as a team like, we've got to do what? We've got to build the inside of a space whale. Sorry, where does this come from, writers? That's not enough. But they did a great job. And the ocean looked great, and the creatures looked great. I mean, art design wise, all absolutely on point. Well, I'm still annoyed by the JJ transporting because stop. And the JJ queue as it comes in, it's just a JJ queue, and it's like stop. You keep telling. I know it goes into the Prodigy theme, but you're not a JJ-verse show. Stop telling us with all your tech, your nacelles. You use a jellyfish.
Maybe there's an answer for that. We've speculated. Maybe there's an answer for that.
No, but they're doing it on purpose. It feels like.
We need to wait.
Oh, look at that water sim though as the guy comes out. Look how good that looks. Oh, that's
I know.
Fucking great water sim.
Yeah. Anyway, so nice opening for the show.
Hey guys. Yeah, Rock Talk was great.
And then we get the kind of recap of what's going on. They're trying to do good to make up for stealing the ship when they finally run into Starfleet. And Zero is taking care of Gwen after... Well, Zero feels really responsible for that because Gwen saw some of Zero's true appearance in the reflection of Dal's comm badge. Kind of went a little loopy, but not as much as her dad.
Bush is pregnant. And get her back. Lovely George and Gracie. Yes, they're doing good things, aren't they? They're trying to do good deeds, so when they go to Starfleet they can make amends. And I'd love to know how many weeks or months this took. Because how do you just find good deeds? I don't know. I'm interested. But it's not. I mean, that's a really nice thing to open the season with. These kids have come such a long way from being very much in the first episode, special first two, because of 2-part or 1-part or whatever. Very much a case of, you know, look after me, maybe look after you if you help me. Let's barely eat and drink and do what we want. Now they're actively doing good deeds, yes, to impress Starfleet, but they're still doing it for the... Like, it felt right the way they said it. It's like, we do need to look good, but we want to help people genuinely. I like the tone of that.
Yep. We kind of get a recap of what's been going on, and they are on their way to a Starfleet comm relay. In hopes that they'll take them in.
Now, you would think that a sensor relay, a sensor comm relay, would scan and detect a ship incoming at high warp, because it can do that. So how exactly, and we'll get to this in a second, how exactly did Mr. Denobulan Man not get incoming warp signature? How far? 6 hours.
Because he's the only one on the frickin' station, so he doesn't have anybody to cover when he's sleeping. He probably just woke up, which is stupid again to have a single person on a comm station. You need multiple shifts. At least have a handful of people, 5 or 6.
Look. We hashtagged for Zahil, justice for Zahil. We can just hashtag justice for whatever this guy's name is. You know,
Barnes Frex.
Two station guys getting screwed over. But you know what I mean. Like, if the entire point of the station is to make contact, there would be loud ass alarms for a ship is approaching, and it's been detected potentially days away. This thing can't sneak up on the station. It can't. So the way they play it, like, I kind of wish they pro-warped in. That would have been a bit obvious, but it's like, guys, because they would have hailed you and said, oh, hey, guy, then it would have been infected. So the framing's a bit naff by itself. It's like, well, you're not just going to be able to walk up to the station, given this is like the front door of Federation space. There's going to be cameras there, etc. But visually, the ship looked fantastic coming in. The angles work great. The station looked pretty good. Pretty good.
I like the station design, yeah.
I love the logos shoved on it, and good looking station.
Yeah, the whole rolling up in a stolen ship. This could get awkward. But then we get the Janeway and Dal scene where they kind of... He's like, I don't know what I should do, if I should just be myself or whatever. And she's like, yeah, be yourself, because that's the only way they know how good a person you are.
Yeah.
So...
Exactly.
Have a leap of faith. And then she got a hug, because she's been upgraded in the last episode. Gwen gave her an upgrade, so she's tactile now, because she can actually stop the Diviner. Because it's actually pointed out 2 episodes ago, I can't give hugs, I'm sorry. And now she gets a hug. Oh, yeah. Brock wanted to hug her. In the time amok, when Brock finally sees her, she's like, I wish I could hug you. Janeway's like, I can't help you there. But now she's tactile, so Dal gives her a hug, and she's like, wow, this is a new experience for a hologram.
Okay. Did not catch that. Cool. Because holograms obviously, they can interact in their zone, and if she can interact anywhere, then she's huggable any place. But it's the idea that I guess they didn't give it back straight away, is that therefore they stole it? You know, if you find a car off the side of the road...
It's a spinny circle.
It's connecting and reconnecting 9 times now. What's going on? What do you mean? The thing. Come on. Be on.
Looks like it's fixed now.
Okay. That's weird. But yeah, the uniform's different. You can tell just by one screen cap of functionally different. They look so similar, but they're different. Although, boy, why does he get this damn room, Stuart? Chakotay's ego, man. He said, this ship is Defiant-sized, and that captain shared a bunk with someone else, probably. We don't know, we never saw, but let's assume. I want the entire mess hall-sized room for my quarters. What the hell is wrong with him to insist on a thing that big? And you've been in those quarters in the game. Are they as big as they feel like?
Oh, they're smaller in the game, it feels like.
Oh, okay.
But
speaking of, suddenly a docking hatch appears that was never there in a previous scene because they just invented it. And it's a hollow gangway. Your thoughts, Stuart?
Much better done than in Discovery. With the physical gangway. I think it's a great idea. and makes perfect sense on a more advanced ship. So, what are your thoughts? It seems like you don't approve.
Yeah, I mean, any post-Nemesis becomes a caveat of where's the future. To me, it feels thoroughly unsafe because it's a hologram. It's a force field, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing physical there. It makes a ton of sense in terms of there's only so much space in the ship, and I don't like the idea of a retractable one that folds somehow. That just felt so disingenuous that it could fit in the ship. This takes away that problem. It's very Discovery-like. I wish it wasn't just Discovery-like verbatim, like that's just what Discovery did. I don't know, there was probably more of a medium way. Like, I probably would have had, like, tubes. Like, because you can
if you have like the bulkhead sections that space out evenly and then fire up like a force field between them, then you at least have physical like
emitters,
those dividing sections. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I probably have had tubes that come out because tubes can recess quite easily, and then make just 4 tubes, and those then create a force field. I mean, it's a small note, but it's fine. It feels dangerous as hell.
I don't know why they wouldn't just be beaming over, though.
That's true.
Well, it seems more invasive. Like it's like a boarding party is going to storm by like 50 guys running through this corridor.
Yeah.
It seems a little more dangerous to me than...
That's true. And also, again, the guy would entirely know this people had come aboard, was coming forward. Why is he not hailing them? Like, he's got a badge. Yeah. Computer, activate main comms to incoming ship. Yes, Captain. Don't call me Captain in front of the guests. Sorry, Lieutenant. You know, the fact I get it thematically it works, but I wish there was some line maybe about their comm system was being upgraded or something. So they couldn't talk to them until they which would have explained why. Because if the idea is that as soon as you interact with the Prostar, corruption, fine. So they didn't even bother creating a reason why they didn't interact until they get to that point. There's not even a pretense of reason.
It's something I didn't even think about the first time watching this because I was just so like enamored seeing all this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, logically, none of this really makes any sense.
I mean, how many times in every Star Trek do they say, "Hail that ship"? You know, Captain, a ship's approaching. Hail that ship. Hello, I'm like that happens. This is
It's another Federation ship approaching. We're one big happy fleet, right? Like we've even talked about this in our other review, like a starship handshake when you come within sensor range, kind of like a transponder to find out whether it's a friend or foe. First of all,
yep.
Do some kind of verification. So like that would be called a handshake, and that you think would be able to wouldn't be enough to start corrupting something, but nothing like that. So a little bit of a problem there. Yes, absolutely.
No, exactly. That's yeah. I mean, it's not a problem, and they need to not talk to the ship yet. But all of the protocols, and you can only go with he's a shitty officer so much because he seemed like a great officer. He didn't seem incompetent. He seemed just hi guys. You know, yeah. The handshake thing was a real problem. But anyway, they get aboard. It gave me real Battlestar Galactica vibes when they go aboard the station for the first time. I'm waiting for them.
No, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those L cars are really obnoxious. Those just weird blue lime, like that's really. It's fine in the Protostar. This looks a bit gross to me. I don't know. Doesn't really work. Like, why have that many variations of color anyway? I don't know. Didn't look quite as good. But I like the idea. It's literally like a immigration. It's like literally just like a borders patrol because that's what it is. It's the border of the Federation space. And then we get introduced to a fantastic new character.
Lieutenant Junior Grade Baroness Frex.
Who, if you caught, he's wearing 2 different types of rank pip. So he's both enlisted and commissioned. He can't
he's probably,
both. So
probably like got a certain rank under the Denobulan whatever that he had. And then he's enlisted in Starfleet and got that rank as well. So maybe it's one of those situations.
I'm pretty sure they just didn't render that out. I think it's just a rendering mistake. They just left it in because it doesn't make sense. I mean, he can't be both. Yes, you can create a weird, silly thing. Just don't have to do both. Have one or the other. I think one of the writers said the idea being like a joke answer is that he just was naked because Denobulans like to be naked, so he just put his uniform in a hurry and put the wrong pips on.
Oh, that's Why would he have the wrong pips though?
Exactly. Yeah, doesn't really work.
That's the joke I was going to make. Actually, it would have been funny if you saw him like pulling on his shirt as he ran in. Because I don't know about you, but if I was at a far out outpost station for months with nobody around, I'd probably be wandering around naked myself.
Yeah, Flox loved it.
Denobulan or not. So.
Yeah. And second note, he is wearing the new normal uniform with the new All Good Things variant combat, which again, in some shots you can tell it's silver and gold, and I wish they would turn down the reflectiveness of the silver, because it looks like a total gold and looks like trash to me, I think. It looks like a rusted thing. It needs that silver and gold, which is another shot. I don't know why they keep, like, lower the reflectivity if that's going to be the case. But, given this guy is the furthest station out, either, as you're right, is a brand new station, in which case you've got the newest uniform with the newest badge, which seems very odd considering on Earth people using badges and uniforms from 15 years ago. That doesn't compute. Or this is now the standard issue uniform anyway. But either way, this is just some guy. This is because Janeway is a top tier ranking person. So now we know this is presumably, if not the main uniform, getting up there. So yay! There you go. All Good Things combat. Huzzah.
Like I says too, usually when I get a visit from Starfleet, I get a heads up. But it's not a typical Starfleet visit, obviously. So, so yeah, welcome to CR721. So CR stands for Communications Relay, obviously. So nice little touch, but I just hate that there's only one person. I think there'd be at least 6, kind of at the minimum. 2 shifts, a couple people, somebody gets sick. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird.
I mean, it depends if they do anything for their job or just sit there. If it's actually like a border station, you'd expect a lot of stuff there. If it's just a communications relay, but both need to make sense. I don't know. But I love
most communications relays are unmanned, though, in all fairness.
Well, that would be communication satellites, not relays. If it's a proper station.
Yeah, but a relay is just that. It's a device that relays the signal to another one out further.
Well, he does.
This is the furthest.
He does make a sort of joke in a minute about, oh no, am I going to get sent to a worse assignment? So he knows it's a terrible assignment.
Yeah.
He even jokes about Nimbus 3 being also bad, which is a phenomenal reference of, oh no, that's still as crappy as it was then. Oh no, guys.
And Dan says, comms relay and TNG Aquiel didn't have many people. No, but it had more than one. That's the point. A few people specializing in different things and being able to some people need to sleep, you know. Actually, that's fair. Denobulans don't need to sleep. They only hibernate every... Remember? I just realized that. Phlox didn't have to sleep until he went into his hibernation mode where he slept for like a week or 2, and then he was good for another 8-9 months or whatever it was.
There you go. You found the reason why Denobulans was picked.
SVS Guru 2000, €5.
Thank you.
They'd need at least 3 to cover 3 8-hour shifts. Yeah, like 3 people would be the minimum if you only need 1 person, but...
Also, I like he's in blue as well. Nice to have a science guy. But I really, really like this scene, because it's like, so, we stole the ship. but, you know, we're here to get back, and Starfleet, and he takes it well on the chin. And he says, okay, well, welcome.
I love his final frontier. Farthest out. What I like to call the final frontier. Usually that lands really well with these Starfleet types.
We get it. And then a very adorable, it'll come through customs, and let's scan, and Genobulan, Tellarite. I love his appreciation of it. And then...
but you know what I love? Ooh. And it's usually very typical upon arrival somewhere, is an ad. That was the ad right there. You saw it, or you didn't. I don't know.
That is true. There are some pretty obnoxious like of the border, but in America, the American border is like, you know, welcome to the America ad. There, yes.
So we don't know if you saw an ad, but if you are here just joining us, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed, and please take part in the conversation. Super chat and let us know your thoughts on this episode. Anything you want to talk about, let us know. But yes, the seeing what they all are, because they're not. They tell him they're non-Starfleet. So he's like, basically, let's go through. Let's get you guys registered. Figure out what you are. And I was like, ooh, this is going to be exciting. We're going to actually find some stuff out. Getting them checked into the database. So we got a Tellarites, we got a Breknar, which we knew this already, so that's fine.
Do we know her race? I didn't quite.
Yeah, we knew she was Breknar from the beginning.
What is a Breknar?
They're from the novels.
Ah, yes.
Find out that, in fact, Murph is a melanoid slime worm, which was referenced in a TNG episode, but I cannot recall which one.
I do, because there's only one, and it's a silly reference. It's the one where Wesley goes for his academy training, and in the one scene that he's tricked to save some guy, that some guy he saves insults Wesley 30 seconds later in the hallway. It's clearly a matte painting, like you can see the scene line. You're a Deneblin slime devil. Whatever it was.
Melanoid slime.
There you go. I did just hear Deneblin slime devil from Chang. That's kind of, or Kang. But yeah, it's amazing how this has been played as such a thing, and they play it off as such a non-thing. It's the most wave. Oh, is it? Like, it's not even a thing, but it is a thing. It works fine, but I think that they weren't expecting it to blow up in such a way of like, oh, what is the Murph species? What is the Murph? That's just a thing. Just a mentioned thing once.
Yeah, I love how. Tellarite, you're one of the founding members of the Federation, and Jenkins like, I'm royalty. Yeah,
I buy it.
That's great.
Waves off
and then,
the zero. Which also is fun, because it implies that, yes, lots of these are known. It's not as big as TOS. The threat of the ambassador. Yeah, it's fine. Dude, it's fine. Which is nice, because he's thinking, I might kill everybody. No, it's fine.
He's so upbeat, too, which I really appreciate. And then, Gwen is an unregistered species.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, Stuart, we've got every... Oh, you're new. Cool. But, paperwork. I
don't want to do the paperwork. I'll just list you as none of the above.
Which is a very good box to have. But Dahl, who is he? Is he a Talaxian? Is he a thingamabob? Which we all said.
Well, that's funny, because he's like Talaxian. No, wait a minute. No, Talaxian. It's hilarious, because when the show first started, everybody was like, he looks Talaxian.
Because he does. As is Jenkinpog, which is a bit of a problem. But no, in fact, Omega 13's on him. Omega particle him, sorry. With all the screens saying, emergency. Clearly not the code being like, grab him, put him in prison, interrogate him. It's clearly just like, get him to Starfleet. So the context would be anywhere. Normally these things, if you're actually like genuine and he's a time criminal, it'd be like, you must restrain him now. So interesting balance of, he's important. Yeah. And I said in our review that in season 1.5, or 0.0 I should say, the context of Gwen was the important alienness.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's Dahl's the important alienness. We never put too much thought into he's unknown. There's lots of unknown races. It's not as big a deal. So that was pretty, okay.
Dahl gets pretty happy, though. He's like, Starfleet does have the answer.
Which is great.
For good or for bad, but yes.
Yeah,
usually red. Usually when you go through a scanner and something pops up over your image, it's red. It's not a good thing. So.
And it overrides all 30 screens. But he's not worried. He's pretty chill, the guy's like, okay, we'll do it later. Go enjoy the facility. The automated facility that isn't really designed to house people, that has like 6 rooms. But I love how in a minute they actually say that a medical bay on this crummy relay station is far more advanced than the Protostar. That's fascinating to me. Does that mean they just massively skimped on the Protostar one? Because normally you'd have the newest thing would have the newest tech. But if a relay station outclasses... And the medbay is not small than Protostar. It's pretty big.
It's the brig. What? No, that sounds awful.
Yeah. So I liked that caveat. Because the Protostar can do pretty much anything. It can phaser anything. It can do anything. But the fact that it's already under par of a relay station means it's going to be very low tier in the medical department. So I like limitations.
Yeah. And yes, this Jericho, Peter David novel is the Excalibur. Has the brick down, so yes, canonized now. But then we get the launching of the Protostar, or the christening of the Protostar, and I did not see this coming, so that was awesome.
Well, not in dry dock, just in space, I guess.
This is such a great conversation these two have. Like, you're actually going to the Delta Quadrant after everything we've been through. He's like, well, with this thing, I can get back in twice as fast. And if I run into any problems, I have a holographic Janeway to help me. You can ask for advice. She's like, yeah, that's the only way I told Starfleet I'd go back. So I love how she's like, no Delta Quadrant for me, thank you.
I did my time. Which then speaks all the more powerful that she's in the Delta Quadrant by the end of the episode.
Well, on the Dauntless, which is probably slipstreaming way faster.
Oh, sure, but still in the Delta Quadrant. I'm not disputing the speed, but she did go back in, despite this scene being don't do it.
SPS Guru 2000, €5.
Thank you.
Maybe it's because the station has only one occupant, so the medbay has to be fully automated, whereas the Protostar would have a doctor. Sure.
And guys, please do other people super chat, because we rely on these to do, and we do want to keep doing Prodigy reviews, but if you guys don't even help us get even a partially top minimum, that's like, well, shit, we're in trouble, because 10 weeks of not any income is real bad for us, because we want, so Prodigy, it's worth, you're here watching it, so put in a few fives, etc.
Exactly.
But I also like how this room's clearly just the room, as in based off the room from Star Trek 3 and 4, the room from Space Dock. Visually. They're not in Space Dock, obviously, but it looks like the same room that they look out of, which I like. Nice callback. And I guess okay, yeah, so everyone's in the new uniform except Chekhov? Chakotay and an avian-looking guy. He's in the Prostar uniform, so who's he? Given the Prostar crew is going to be under 30, pushing 30, that's probably too many. So we're going to see an avian creature at some point. That's cool. Don't know if you caught him.
Generation Production says, I have a ship question. Well, then ask it. We will see what we can do.
Yes. But no, it's a good scene. And they feel like good camaraderie. I mean, yes, Chakotay is, you could argue, a bit distilted, but he's a captain. He's old. He's chill. He's with one of his best friends. Like, it kind of felt like Chakotay. Honestly, it just felt like Chakotay's never been super. Even in his Akuchamoya phase, he just whispers a bit. He's still sort of in the zone.
I didn't think he was off at all. So.
And unlike everyone else, Stuart, he's not that much older, so he sounded like he hasn't gone through the he sounds older phase. So he sounded just like Chakotay. Just sounded really crisp because he's also doing it in an audio booth.
But now back on the relay station, we find out there are 196 branches of science. Because Rock said she wanted to get into science. And he's like, thanks for sharing. What's branch? And then they went and looked, and 196 different branches of science, which is very cool to know.
And Stuart, it's great there's so much science, because I like science.
I know you do. I do too. I like science too.
Jesus. No, it's yeah, it's cute. It's fun. They're having fun, although they didn't put too much budget into design these rooms because they're pretty. But it's just a computer room. I mean, they shouldn't be very interesting, should they? But no, they go straight to a weird med bay, which kind of reminds me of the one from Prometheus that she gives birth in. Yep.
That's what I was thinking that just a second ago when said it might be more automated. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, how ill can you get? And they don't ever say what he's going to do to help her memories. They don't even imply. It's just
a quick procedure, is all it said.
To undo my madness? What do you mean? What? You have a plan? You're not a doctor. You're a bloody energy life form that hovers. What is this? Why are you in a force field that's shimmering with diamonds? What is this?
Why am I bolted down?
Why am I bolted? Yeah. I know I have to drown in a second, but it's very strange. When you break it down, this scene doesn't mean anything. Like, it doesn't do anything. It's just okay.
And Generation Productions asks, I noticed on ship models that the deflectors and warp nacelle chillers are bronze, but then turn blue when powered up. Why is that? Because there's passive mode, standby mode, and then active.
And also, that's not technically true. That there are chiller grills for the warp coils, but in between those grills are the warp blue glow. So the copper things don't turn blue. The copper thing between those things go blue, and deflector is gold, bronze, whatever. But there are blue emitters around that. So they never change color. They just go from being black off to blue on around the silvers and golds, etc. So yeah, if you ever look at like the
no, if you're looking at the refit Enterprise,
not mean the refit. That's the exception.
Yellow.
That's the exception.
I know, but I think that's what he was talking about.
Okay, well, I mean that.
So yeah, it goes from standby, which is yellow, to fire up to full power, which is blue.
The one exception. Everyone else doesn't have that. But that's just like an LED circle. There isn't a deflector. There's just big. Like it's just a thing. Every other ship has a deflector dish and whatever. But yes, for that one thing. Oh yeah, it's a batch tank. Totally is a batch tank. Yeah.
All right. So they fire up this thing with the force field, and then we move on to hot dogs. And I love how Jankum calls it Earth. You know, on planet Earth. So E-A-R-F. Like, oh, that's cute. This hot dogs are food fit for a king. Like, I'm royalty because I'm a Tellarite. And you're with me, man. It's all good.
Although, given that there's literally 30 things of food, this guy's been eating everything. My God.
Yeah.
He can eat for days.
And then Mr. Lieutenant Junior Grade Barnes Frex uplinks with the protostar to check out everything's all right.
I love in the MSD that you can see how big the bridge is, and that gives you such good context how big the ship is. I mean, it's not literally, there are other shots, but like you can really feel the size of it from that. Yeah. It goes real bad, Stuart. And we get a reveal, I guess, just below the bridge, which I guess they've never checked. They've never explored the deck 2. Because apparently on deck 2 there's a big red thing in a very dark room. Given the bridge is lit up like no one's business, why is deck 2 this... What?
Probably the computer core, probably. And there's no, it's not literally the next deck. It could be down in engineering or whatever. It's hard to say.
But structurally, though, I feel like, because there is an under bridge, there's glass. So I think it literally was just under that. I mean, computer core... It's
not, though, because if you walk down the bridge steps, there's steps on each side. And you get to that big open area. We've kind of seen what's around
is that
there.
Underneath the bridge?
Yeah, because those stairs from the bridge go down to the next level. And then there's a big door underneath where the bridge is, and then there's the 2 hallways that split off, and then there's some other doors. We've seen it a few times.
Okay. But I don't think it's the computer.
Precisely where.
I don't think it's the computer core though, because there's no actual core. But yeah, it's a thing. It's an organic-looking thing. Red equals evil. And I did see on Twitter earlier today that someone pointed out that in fact this arrangement of shapes is what the diviner was sketching at the last scene of the last episode.
Nice.
And it's gone real evil.
Well, it infects all of the comm relay systems.
And he's very chill about it. It's like, oh, it's a weird ship. It's like, dude. Yep, I love your lack of concern here. Your boss.
It even affects the replicators.
And the doors, and it for some reason decides to drown Gwen.
Well, to destroy everybody, to kill everybody, yeah.
Didn't try and kill Zero or Rock Talk or.
Well, it can't drown them.
No, it could vent
anyway,
the air.
The
it could turn the
point
ground.
is,
What do you mean? Of course it could. I don't know why would it target her randomly.
She's in a med bay. She's in the. I assume she'd be safe for a while until the thing like plugged in and like filled up with fluid.
Although I'm wondering, maybe this was actually the intention to give her like a, you know how you have the big tubes where you go in and you turn out all sound, sensory deprivation tubes. Maybe that's what they were doing here, which would explain the reason for the bubble and why would you just stab in and put like that's. It comes out of nowhere and it means nothing in the grand scheme. It's just like, oh, she's drowning for some reason. Okay, cool. Random, I guess.
Yeah, but Zero gets locked out, calls everybody to sickbay, and we see the things come down. And I assume these were going to like start pulsing out like a communications or something, but no, they're phaser emitters, and they start slicing the station up.
Good looking phasers. Some beefy turrets. Yeah, this thing.
They look very familiar too. I think they're in the TNG technical manual, that exact design for something. But I don't have one handy at the moment.
But yeah, they do things. Gwen drowns pretty much, and I like the fact that when she hallucinates the past, she's in her uniform still. That was a nice touch.
And when Rock Talk powers in through the doors, I expected Rock Talk to smash the bio bed. No, instead, even more brilliant idea, Dal stands on top of it and fires a phaser right at Gwen. So if the force field did give way, she'd be dead. Or he'd fall on her. Or both. Attack the bio bed, you dumbass. Don't attack the force field.
Did this scene remind you of the Obi-Wan Kenobi scene where he could just walk around a fence because there's lots of visible space, instead thinking it's a problem and just This is when the episode starts to go downhill because the logic seems to sort of become less important. Because why has he got a phaser? He shouldn't have a phaser. He wouldn't be allowed a phaser through customs if he's not Starfleet. That's silly. He wouldn't have gone straight to the armory. This is a protostar phaser. There's not a station phaser. So he snuck it through in his pocket. Cough, cough, his pocket. He wouldn't be allowed a phaser. He's not Starfleet, etc. And then, you don't shoot the thing that's going to kill her. You shoot... All it takes is a 1 second beam at the anything else and it turns off. I know he's a kid, but it's a nonsensical scene. Which is even worse when she gets out in 1 second anyway herself. Well, then...
threat device.
And why would her stabby work when a phaser beam couldn't? A phaser's more powerful than a stabby.
Because of the metal that's made out of. We've already established it's very strong, and in the game it's also super strong.
A phaser is literally piercing energy.
It's a physical thing.
But you know what I mean. It's a kid's move. It's like, oh, because she's hero, but it doesn't function well. It's not well framed scene.
Matthew DeFreitas, $5.
Thank you.
I'm just so happy these shows are embracing canon. Like, look at those phasers. Look at those uniforms and legacy characters. Why did it take so long?
Well, they had to learn the mistakes first. That's fine. Now, do you think it was weird that the phasers weren't attacking the protostar?
Yep.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
But that being said, the protostar is the source of the virus.
Yes.
So,
because the way these scenes are framed, despite knowing that, my brain said, "Why isn't it attacking the other Starfleet ship?" For whatever reason, that's what the visuals were to me. But of course it couldn't. It's literally the thing that's causing it. So it's weird. We both thought that going in, despite it not making sense. But Janeway, straight to duty, says, "Right, get off the ship." And no, Mr. Officer Man with a very tiny phaser says, "You baddies, I guess."
yeah, everything was fine until you arrived. What did you do to my station?
It exploded.
The protostar retracts the gangway, pulls away, and then it's like, we got to get out of here. Can you beam us out? Transporters are, of course, offline, because why wouldn't they be?
And no, Janeway is actually flying the protostar the entire scene. Just note that for a second. Flawlessly. She also is the ship, so she also has access to all of the ideas of how to fly it.
Yeah. But she tells them to find the nearest escape pod and get out of there, and I guess that sparks the guys like, oh yeah, I should probably do that. So he runs too.
Yes.
But the destruction sequence is really great. Seeing that thing get carved up with its own phasers.
Yeah. But it's also interesting because it's not doing it. It must be the way it's programmed. You would think that the beam could burn through the material because it's just causing explosions. So it must be on a lower setting just to cause visceral damage. Because it could just cut through stuff if it was on high enough, right? So it's not. So I like to do it's killing the station with pain and suffering slowly. You know, that's kind of how I took the sequence. It's too slow. Although I wonder how they framed it, because they have to, all these explosions would have to leave the power systems online and the weapon systems online. So I have to entirely ignore the EPS routes and the power systems, but destroy everything else. That's a hella controlled self-killing if you're leaving the things in. But yeah, it's a smart bug.
Then we see the escape pod on the L-Cars display. And that's a very cool visual, actually.
And I
will see some detail on that one.
I will note that chair, it was very similar to what the TNG technical manual is, which we've looked at. Why wouldn't you base it on that? But that looks to me just like exactly as it should look. And the escape pod is very similar to John Eve's one. And I wonder if that is literally just
look at the
Protostar.
Look at the controls on the arm of the chair. They look very TNG L-Cars.
Yes, they do. The chair's old. But I wonder if that is just the model of the Pro, because the Protostar has like 6 escape pods each side. They look like that, I think. I wonder if they've just used that model because we're not going to pay attention, are we? Like, we're not going to keep track. But anyway, so they escape, and that is the only escape pod in this room. Although, in fairness, the room is obviously a EV room because it's got a lift to the surface. So it's an EV room that happens to have an escape pod in versus an escape pod section.
Yeah. Sorry, no room for saboteurs, and it takes off. It's like, oh shit. That was the only escape pod in this part of the station.
Yes.
I should have said that.
Yes. And it must be... It's amazing the spacesuits they have one for Octok, who's like a 6 foot, 800 pound... 8 foot, 800 pound officer. But no, they have spacesuits that fit everyone. And
well, as I said, I assume that they're like the Discovery nanotech fits to the body or whatever.
I mean, I hope not, but I know
all the helmets are the same size on the shelf, which bothers me.
Yeah. Well, it would look silly if they're all the different sizes, because even like Dahl and Gwen have very different sized heads, and they all just fit perfectly. And these are the same spacesuits that are used by Janeway later, so they are the standard issue Starfleet spacesuits, and they look nothing like a Starfleet spacesuit to me. Like, would never have called them a spacesuit from Star Trek. Like,
there's not even a delta on it or anything.
And yeah, if they were just the old ones in the station, fine, but they're not. Janeway uses them. So I think massive thumbs down on the spacesuits for me personally, but they're not trying to look Starfleet, I guess. So they succeeded. But once they get out of the station, beautiful. Great lighting, great visuals, great depth sense. They feel tiny, insignificant. Feels dangerous, feels risky. Yeah, good little sequence.
Reminds me of The Expanse. This whole section, part of them running along
on the outside. Pretty radical. And Janeway is circling the ship in an orbit for some reason, when she could just stop. Because they did not say the station is spinning. So for some reason, the Protostar is spinning. Like, they're creating an obstacle because, yeah, why are they spinning?
Why is who spinning?
The Protostar. Because the station's not spinning.
I would have preferred it if there was the odd phaser like going by the ship she's trying to avoid the phaser fire. But yeah, there's nothing like that.
Because all she needs to do is just put the thrusters so it stays still and you just go into it. There's no reason whatsoever it's moving. I just realized that.
Yeah, Ozzy throws in $2. Let's suit up. Rock and roll time.
Yes. Huh. Method Freitas. All those years we complain about deltas, the one time they listened to us.
But one, where it's supposed to be, would be great.
Well, no, I would rather have like we saw in the other, the Starfleet command emblem, like that on the chest. Versus just a delta, just a generic delta. But guys, we are still $24 away from half our minimum, which ain't so good, so a couple of fives will get us there pretty quick. Let us know what you think, because we're starting to close out our last little chunk. I did do a poll last year, so if you want to read that out, the classic poll topic.
And hit like. We want 50 likes, so 6 more, guys. What did you think of this episode? Loved it, liked it, okay, or meh? Go vote.
And what are we at? Yes, vibe-wise.
Vibe-wise for what?
What's the vote like so far?
Oh, loved it at 52%. Liked it at 27, okay at 19, and Mel is at 2%. Matthew DeFreitas throws in $2. Spacewalk reminds me of the PS3 Star Trek game. That's the 2009 one, which is actually a very good game if it doesn't glitch on you. And made the Enterprise look good. There was actually an engineering room and everything. Ozzy throws in $2. Janeway is doing the Janeway maneuver. Just spinning in a circle. So we have 50 votes on the poll. That's pretty good considering 56 people here.
But yeah, they use Rocktog's math skills, which I like the vibe.
I like the Dell was like, Rocktog, what do we do? You're the captain. Yeah, but you're a science officer, so science it.
Yep. And the fact that I associate Zero being the smart one because alien mega intelligence, but Zero's like,
you gotta remember, Rocktog has taught herself math and a bunch of different science things because we don't know how long she was in the time of mock thing. Because Gwen asked Janeway in that one, how long was she alone? And Janeway said too long. So we just don't know.
Well, that's the thing. They skipped from being she's a thing that helps the crew to I like science. So yeah, it works well. And I do quite like the fact that she failed. However, not to skip to the end, but they get thrown off because of an explosion. So her math being right or wrong is not relevant anymore when they got propelled at a force they couldn't have predicted. So you don't even know if she was right or wrong. The fact that she was close and with the explosion, that's all is the sell that she's almost got it at least.
Yeah, the one line of dialogue that she says that annoys me is she says, "And there's no resistance in space, so whatever vector we jump to will hit the protostar." Meaning you can jump any way.
It's moving, guys.
I know, and she's in control of it.
Like, it's fine if the station's moving, it's not, but yeah. The end is the weakest part of this episode. But I love the things exploding behind them, so it's like, go, or now, or never. Ah! There we go.
SVS Guru 2000 throws in €5.
Thank you.
Starfleet debris. Janeway would have let them drift into space for another 10 minutes at least for their own amusement. Missed opportunity. Starfleet Discovery, yes. I guess. I don't know what you mean by SF debris.
I think it means the YouTube channel.
Oh. Jasper Jedi, $25. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Payday today, so we all eat. Enjoy this episode.
Yes.
Setups continues the things from the first season of season 1, or the first half of season 1. A few logic issues, but nothing too bad in my opinion. Rock's spacesuit was weird as fuck, though. Yeah. And
yes, Jill, we missed you too. We're
Jill is back. SVS Screwed 2000, €5. Also, since Rock taught herself science, wouldn't she already know how many fields there are? No, not necessarily. She needed to focus on making a warp capacitor or whatever it was in a mock time, so she focused on those skills.
Yeah, even if day 3 of I need to learn science, she was told by the computer, if she was stuck for 6 years or whatever, and she could forget. I'm no problem with that. And besides, we have no idea what happened to Prostar in between its computer systems, what information it was given, so would it need to have the 17 random sciences that are, like, no offense, the least important of sciences? You know, it's like, well, it's okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I was fine with that.
Yeah, so I love the little calculations, and they're all like orbital dynamic calculations and stuff apparently. So yeah, it's kind of neat for those on screen.
Equals MC squared as well, which of course I remember seeing that at one point.
No, it's E equals half MV2.
Ah, I remembered wrong. My brain saw it. What's this one called? This episode?
Asylum.
Okay. I had to update the old charter-rooney. Same chart, we're still in season 1. We'll have to redo a best of season 1 review chat at some point, because it's the same season.
Well, we got a countdown. Rock says 10 seconds and then questions herself, but Zero continues the countdown.
I like that.
And they jump.
And this shot of them being hit by lightning is so goddamn nice. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
I love they're all screaming, but Murph's like...
I kind of want a better sound effect, though. Like, more of a... I know it's no air in space, fine, but yeah, that was funny. And are they going to make it, Stuart? Are they going to make it? Are they going to make it? Well, either way, they can make it, because Janeway's going to catch them. So there's not really any tension at all. It's kind of like negative tension, really. Honestly.
Yeah.
Because you'd think she would say, "Oh, they're coming too fast. Okay, I'll reverse the ship, and let them come in. The gravity, like, she's working controls and yeah."
Yeah. But they overshoot. Well, they miss the thing, and then also the tractor beam locks onto them, and it's like, we did it. What a relief! We did it. No, you didn't.
You literally didn't. Yeah.
Anyway.
And then it's like, well, of course they could tractor beam. Where was the tension? She could pilot and tractor beam.
Well, I love how he's like, Rock says that the math needed to be precise. And he's like, you got us close enough. And she's like, no, I guess maybe orbital mechanics isn't my thing. So that one science, orbital mechanics, is out of her equation as far as figuring out what she wants to do. I like that little line. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, so it's a good little sequence. They have fun. And then all of a sudden... And I was shocked, honestly, that the big I Remember reveal is the first episode. Because that's the big plot point twist of episode 10. So to undo that big plot twist is like, oh. Huh. Kind of almost feels like we are trying to actively tease the audience versus give them a meaningful reveal. Because that's pretty rare to undo a twist after one episode that's that big.
Yeah.
What did you think when she said, "I remember everything"?
Look, it's about time. Let's hear it. Oh wait, no, it's going to the next scene in the next episode. No, I was glad it was so soon. Actually, I expected this to be like halfway through these 10 episodes, but I was glad it was here.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough.
Then we get to see the Dauntless at Tyler's Lamora.
He's looking cool. I don't know if the window scale matches, but hey, looks cool. This is Tars Lamora without the Rev 12. This is an implied without any of the people. So it's clearly a live colony, but without anyone in it.
Yes.
And they beam in.
Janeway and her crew beam down. And they detect a faint life form signature, and she's like, Chakotay. And then she finds the broken comm badge.
And note they're using the Protostar tricorders, not normal tricorders for some reason, and they're using the spacesuits we just saw rather than standard spacesuits. So I'm confused. I don't know why they weren't using proper tricorders versus the Protostar prototype tricorders.
Yeah.
I know Dauntless is in a similar vein.
Well, they're not the same. They're not the same as the Protostars. They're different tricorders, but they look like the same kind of tech.
What do you mean they're not the same?
They're not the same.
Not the same? Is it because they don't flip up?
Yeah, the Protostars ones move up, don't they?
Well, who said these don't? I assumed these would. They just didn't have them flipped up.
Maybe.
I mean, it must do. I've got a still now. I assume they are flipped up. You just can't. The line's just different. Because why would you have the light above the seam line? I mean, you can see it here.
Yeah.
It's just weird because they shouldn't be these really. I just don't like them.
I thought they were for sure different than the Protostars, but
I get it's the same like hyper advanced travel program ship, but if one's meant to be a prototype, why would it be on? Whatever. I don't think Janeway would take a prototype tricorder. Like she would just use a tried and trusted one. But anyway, whatever. Yep, finds the comm badge. And then in front of the comm badge?
Somebody in some form of stasis.
But this isn't...
Who is it?
This isn't the docking port, though. Because it was broken on the docking... The landing pad, sorry. This isn't the landing pad. So how do the comm badge pieces that he broke on the landing pad get to an underground part with the Diviner floating? Did someone move the combat pieces as a sign of your final resting place, Diviner? Who would do that? Why would they do that? Or is this implying another person was here that got their combat destroyed? Maybe? Because why is the Diviner floating in 0G and with the suit back on? Because he didn't have a suit last time. It's a very confusing ending.
When we were doing our recap of the first half of the season and Aaron was in the chat, he did say that Diviner's fine, he's got his suit. Sure enough, here we go. So
when it is on the screen, it's hard to take. Yeah.
But who is he? Maybe he has answers. And that's the end.
Yes. Because if he's
so I assume he's going to either be in a coma for a while from being turned insane, or his species is more immune to the Medusan's insanity-causing thing, so he's going to eventually snap out of it. Or next episode, he's going to be awake on the Dauntless and be like, I don't remember anything. Or he's just going to be rambling like a crazy man, one or the other. So he's not going to be any help for at least 4 or 5 episodes. And then I think he's going to come to and remember what's going on and be on Janeway's ship, and that's going to cause some problems. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would have said 4 or 5 episodes, but given they just revealed the I Remember Everything 1 episode later, I could see him being awake next episode, honestly. And given how quick the pace of season 1 was from shifting paradigms, I could see them blowing past this very quickly, especially as Janeway would surely use everything at her doctor's disposal to make him awake again, even if pushing the legality of certain things, because she wants Panchakote and the crew, etc. Whoever was left. So, don't know.
I still think he's gonna, even if he is fully aware and conscious next episode, I still think he's gonna play Janeway and turn on her in a few episodes.
I hope so.
I don't think he's gonna immediately go, I hate Starfleet, and start freaking out.
You'd like to think, yeah. But I'm kind of assuming that his species is able to recover from the insanity. That's why Gwen got it without any real trigger.
But she didn't get much of a hit, though. She only got a reflection.
Sure.
And then she was told to close her eyes.
But she still lost all her short-term memory.
Yeah.
And they didn't know she'd get it back. So I agree with you, it was less, but therefore him being fully insane to less fully insane, I could see that being a relatively quick transition. And if it's been weeks, if she managed to heal herself now, then he could be one step better as well.
Possibly, yeah.
Alright, so Stuart, final thoughts and final score on episode 11 of season 1. And guys, put in your final super chat thoughts, comments, and review scores out of 10, please. The regular chat I'll read, so put in your thoughts right now. Or super chat Stuart will read. If we can get 5 more 5s, that'd be great. But, that's always up to you guys.
That's right. So super chat if you're able to.
Sure.
So yeah, this is definitely a piece of a puzzle, as is most episodes of Prodigy. It's very serialized, much like Picard, but I think they do it better, obviously. And we're only halfway through this season, so we're at the halfway point, so there's still a lot to do. That being said, I really enjoyed this episode. It was great to return to Prodigy. I forgot how beautiful this show looked. It's very crisp, very clean, very nice. And having Janeway and Chakotay, that little holodeck scene of the christening of the Protostar, was so nice to see.
I will say I do wish that she said computer M program. We just saw a classic Voyager.
Yeah.
Voyager holodeck. Tiny thing, but
yeah.
Kind of.
As we kind of pointed out, there are a few things that don't make a lot of sense, like only one escape pod. I wish there's just a line of dialogue saying it's only one in this section. Only one person on the relay station was a little bit annoying to me personally, but let's see. I'm just trying to think of anything else I want to mention real quick. Nobody really had a super great amount to do this episode. It was a very reactionary episode.
Except the tour guide,
I think. Well, yeah, and the fact that they decided to actually go to this relay station knowing that they'd stolen the ship, not sure how Starfleet would take it. That was very brave of them to do. So we got to give them props for that, for sure. All right, so score-wise, for all of
the irony
one,
is all all of Prodigy and all of the season the same score.
I know.
Apparently. So yeah.
I know. I'm aware. I was going to make a joke out of it. You stepped all over it. Let's see. I
guess just how much do you enjoy it, and then how do you think
I know. Well, considering it was such a break from Prodigy, I enjoyed it more than I should have, probably. So I'm not going to really... I'm going to have to take that into consideration and dumb my score down a tad. I'll give it a 7.8 out of 10. Like I said, there's some frustrating things in it, but overall, it was great to be back. So.
And then whole season score?
That's the same score. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, 7.8. How about you? What are your last thoughts?
And just for context, as you'd probably appreciate that, this has now become your 5th favourite episode of Prodigy.
No, that's not accurate.
So good job you, Stuart.
I'll still leave it 7.8.
Yeah, like I said, the first half is really, really, really good. The last third is not so good. It definitely brings it down. But yeah, mirror everything you said. As always, it makes you want more. I was pissed that we ended where we ended. I want more Dauntless. Luckily, re-experiencing today means it comes out in like 2 days. Yeah. So that's funny. So we'll do Prodigy like within a couple of days of each other. But it was a fun ride, a lot of good stuff, good dialogue. I really thought the dialogue was on point. There are genuine little plot problems that aren't often in Prodigy. They're very good at being tight, but they're trying to cram a lot in, and that's causing problems, which is also good in a sense because they've got so much story to tell. They're not like there's no padding here at all. Everything is very on purpose. Even the first scene is very tight. So much so they don't explain the plan, but it's not important, so they move past it. But yeah, swings and roundabouts with that. But definitely it's a good lead-in. It very much felt like a welcome back, and also a soft reset. They obviously knew they were doing it in chunks, but a hell of an achievement to re-establish where you are and what you're doing.
Did you also notice, and I appreciate this, there was no last time on Star Trek Prodigy. It was just straight into it. I'm like, yes, thank you. I don't need last time on.
But we did.
We should have really needed it for this one.
Yeah, we did with the captain's log though. I mean, but this episode very much like, oh god, I guess Lower Decks was it when I said it felt like an epilogue of the last episode versus a full episode. This didn't feel like that, but there's lots of we're going to deal with her illness. We're going to deal with leaving the Federation or leaving Tales Lamora. So those things came about. Score-wise, I do think it's one of the better Prodigy episodes, actually. I think the good is really good. The bad is just lack of time. You can kind of sense they just put themselves into a corner there. Fair enough. Score-wise... I think I enjoyed it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Because so much of it is top class. But I think overall season-wise, I'll go at 7.5. Just because I think those variable scores are important. But yeah, I would say one of the better Prodigy episodes. Because it obviously benefits from all the previous episodes. Like, it's going to build on itself, so, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so time for your scores, guys.
Yes.
Let's see. Sebastian throws in €5 and says, hey, guys, here's some digital Latinum to fill those coffers. Good episode, 7 to 8 out of 10. Nice. Cool. Any more super chats would be great. Wouldn't mind getting at least another $20, $25. Won't quite hit our minimum, but if anybody wants to super chat in, now would be a good time. Don't forget there's the last super chat slot. Sebastian now has it, so
we're not far.
Yeah.
But just a little update, because we're Trekyards and we're cool. The showrunners of Lower Decks liked my post. The lead writer of Lower Decks, the creators of Prodigy liked my costume post of me in this. I just posted. The lead writer of Prodigy liked, and the computer voice of Prodigy liked.
Ooh, nice.
And Erin who's a writer, who also might be a writer on Prodigy. I'm assuming, maybe.
Not Weltke.
No, Erin McNara, writer and producer. But of what though? She's got Prodigy in her header, but you just be a big fan. No, writer's assistant. So yeah, 2 writers and 2 showrunners, and since they write as well, 4 writers have liked my post. So
awesome.
Good job, guys.
Do you want to read some non-super chats?
I do, Stuart. I really do. The Stanleys, 7 to 8 out of 10. Milust. No, that's worse. 7 out of 10. Aussie, 8.8 out of 10. We haven't got a Donny's 10 out of 10 though, so that's good, because he would give it 10 out of 10. Marco, Eric, 8 out of 10. Jill, 8.5 out of 10. Marco, 7.8 out of 10. That's Jericho, 7.1 out of 10. Chris, 8 out of 10. And Dan, 7.5. So...
Well, Jill says
yes.
She struggles to read an episode she hasn't seen in 4 days, so perhaps it's a little inflated, so...
Yeah, if you don't mind plot holy elements, there's almost nothing wrong with the episode. Like,
yeah.
That's the... You know? So that's a great thing for them. Is just we look for it. Oh, Ozzy puts in 10 out of 10 just for Donny. Thanks, man. Donny's inflated non-scores. They mean nothing if there was a 10. Remember that one time we gave an 8 and we were gobsmacked? You didn't think this episode was perfect? What's wrong with you?
I forget what that was for, though.
Yeah, I don't remember. Ooh, okay. That's a new button. But yes. Oh.
Area 51, $5. Found this money floating around the internet. Want it? I mean, sure. It's already ours now.
Are you saying you're a peanut
most of it,
donation?
Most of it's ours.
Oh,
30% of it is YouTube's.
But we love the...
Speaking of, when you were doing your live yesterday, did you notice all of the Kit 10K PayPals?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want, because I saw them all and I didn't know if you had caught them. So
yeah, well, you told me each time, which is super useful.
Good.
So no, you had some good points. We had a good discussion. Yes, check out my what do I call it, drunk yards so much as tipsy yards. Last night was fun.
Indeed. $15 more, guys, would be a great way to close out.
That is
if
true.
you haven't voted in the poll, too bad we're going to end it. What did you think of this episode? Loved it at 48%, liked it at 28%, okay was 21%, and meh was only 3%.
So I think I should be proud of that split. That definitely sounds like a 7 or 8 out of 10 sort of vibe.
Yeah. And Sebastian, €2. Well, here's a like for Stuart's outfit. Thanks, man. As I said, it says Stuart Foley, Captain, Starfleet.
Yep, Stuart's outfit. He really went all out today. Really
off duty, so this is as close as you get. Anyway, anybody else want to jump in and super chat for the last super chat slot? Right now, Sebastian has it.
Although
Avenue 5 is awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. It looked weird.
Oh, it's good. It's funny.
I like that they let Hugh actually have a English accent for once, because he never ever does anymore. Or at least when he was doing TV, he kind of retired a bit.
Well, he should have, because it's good.
Yeah. It's
kind of like it's like a new Red Dwarf a little bit, I think. It's got that kind of back to it.
And also, I mean, obviously you saw it, but let me load up, because I specifically made an effort to do these. I made some animations for our Prodigy content.
Yes, you did.
Let me show you my favourite one, which came out of the Aaron interview, which I rather liked making. So let me show off for you all our first live premiere version of it. And this is made by me. I don't know if you've seen any other shots like this. Here is the...
Well, Tara throws in $5, so thank you, Tara. Just found you. So here's a little something to celebrate. Well, thank you. Make sure you subscribe, Tara, and come back and join us. And we'll go watch all of our past reviews and stuff. Yes.
But yeah, there she is, Stuart, the Pro Star at Real Warp. What do you think? Because the Pro Star team of the Prodigy use a different warp.
It's better in Real Warp.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks great.
I'm really proud of our model we built. This has been several months in the making, as you can imagine. Really worked hard. I'm excited to make it even more in-depth. And there's like 12 layers have to be put together to make this thing work, because everything's a very different glow layer. But yeah, it's a bit of a little reveal. So yeah, you'll be seeing more shots of the Pro Star doing real Canon Prime live things.
And Matt Boardman says, I enjoyed the first part of the Aaron interview.
Good.
Is it only a part 1? I haven't seen it yet, so.
Yeah, I took that as the first part of the 11-minute video, but he means it's a part 1 video because it's the first interview. That makes more sense.
Chris,
yeah.
Chris Gwillem puts in £4.50 for the commander's uniform.
Thanks.
And Area 51, $10.
Ooh.
It's good to have goals. Here's hoping this helps reach yours today. Yes. Yeah.
Still, that's not how it should look. So, it's like when I did we had a Stargazer bridge built, and fan film was using it. And it's weird to be like, but I know how it should look, so make it look different was confusing my brain, because that's how it looks. It's built a certain way. But I decided to show you the version with like half carpets, half metal, because
yeah.
It works. Yeah, it really makes the colors pop.
And Tara says, looking forward to checking out that interview. I started watching and that led me here. Oh. And yes, I subscribed. Thank you so much. Hopefully you'll join us for our multiple weekly lives.
Yes.
And we always have content on the weekends. So.
And the show is not shy at giving us ships and tech, so we look forward to looking at that. Now,
just so you know,
yes.
Oh, sorry, I just want to point out to Tara. Just so you know, our reviews of new episodes are on Fridays around this time, so check those out. This is an odd one today because we had Lower Decks on Friday, and then this one, because of Halloween, was today. So,
yes, we had a double dip. Ha! Ha! Donnie, coming in late. We talked about you earlier, man. You're late.
Donnie, what do you rate this? What do you rate this episode? Give us your official rating.
Well, I guess we are an hour early, so he's only half an hour late in the normal timeline. So I suppose
Friday will probably be early, also. At least for you guys.
Yeah. Yes. I was trying to think what we meant there.
Because our clocks don't go back until this weekend, so 10 out of 10 for Asylum. There you go. What a shock. Wish we could have put money on that. Anyway, that's it, I guess, guys. Thank you for watching. Looking forward to the new episode on Thursday. And as always, we'll have our edited reviews out on Friday early. And then we'll do our edited review, on Friday in the afternoon. And then later in the day, we'll have the live complete episode breakdown and review like we're doing right now. So, yeah. And check it out, guys.
It's the sort of show I'd like all 10 straight away, but that would ruin me for like no more. But we get all 10 this time. 8 no 4 episode bullshit pause, another show.
It breaks, yeah.
And then Discovery in between.
Ugh.
Just Prodigy. 10 weeks. We get 20 weeks of the really canon feeling Prime Trek. And then we'll see how Picard Season 3 is, because that's probably going to feel more Prime Trek, but we'll see.
You know what else is also coming out in February? Picard is coming out February 16th. February 22nd is Mandalorian Season 3.
Right, that's good. But also...
It is good, but it's also...
And then March.
Oh, yeah, shit.
At least we'll be together for most of those episodes. Like, most of the first chunk. That's nice. Do you imagine if we went to LA and, like, was with a guest reviewing the episode? Imagine if we managed to swing that. Can we come to your house and review the episode with you? We're just reviewing it, and the guy walks in and is like, did you work on a show? Oh, you did? Go away. We're busy reviewing your show. It's not gonna happen, though. It'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, plans for March.
Expensive things
guys.
in March. Expensive things. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so until next time, he is Commander Cockings.
And he is presumably still Captain Foley, but with no pips, no orders.
Captain.
So it does say Captain on a uniform. Is what you're saying.
I was pointing it out 3 times.
I know. I was making a Stargate joke.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Anyway, catch you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.